Hello and welcome to the opening bell. My name is Isaac, and in this video we will recap the stock market week of April 24th to April 28th, 2023. So let's get started. I'm using the TD Bank Stock Market Simulator. We will start with Marriott. I own 28 shares of Marriott, and I paid for it at a price of $169.33, and its last price was $169.34 before the closing bell on Friday, April 28th. I have a profit of only 18 cents on Marriott, and it has been one of my mixed stocks. Sometimes it always goes down, sometimes it always goes up. This week it had a little plummet this week, however, with still only a little profit since I first bought it. Here's the chart for Marriott. As we can see, it starts the week at a little around $175, and from then it's going to take a sideways note until we get to April 26th. It is going to take a huge plummet dip, and we'll continue that dip until April 27th, where it is going to start gradually going up, and we'll continue going up, and we'll end the week on a sideways note at $169.34 on Friday, April 28th. So a negative week overall for Marriott with a loss overall. However, with the dip in the beginning of the week, it did start gradually coming up towards the end of the week, and we hope that it continues recovering from this dip as we go into next week. The next stock that I'm going to talk about is Disney. I own 130 shares of Disney, and I paid for it at a price of $106.14, and its last price was $102.50. I have a loss of $472.73 on Disney, and it is my worst stock that I have. It's my only stock that I have a loss in this week, with a loss of $472.73 since I first bought it. Disney has been one of my it was one of my good stocks when I first bought it, and then from then on it just started going down and down and down. However, there was a little profit this week with a surge this week in Disney's values. Here's the chart for Disney. As we can see, it starts the week at a little bit more than $100. It is going to take a sideways note and will take a little dip. And on April 27th, and from then, this is where the profit that I was talking about comes in. It's going to take a surge upwards, and we'll end the week on a sideways note, a little more than $102. So a overall profitable week for Disney. Of course, it starts the week at around $100 and ends the week above $102. So a pretty good week for Disney, with a gradually drop at the beginning of the week and a huge surge to end the week for Disney. Your Story of the Week Part 1 is in green this week. We're going to talk about of how well my next stock, Microsoft, that I own, has performed this week. I own 30 shares of Microsoft, and I paid for it at $283.13, and it is now $307.26, making it the best stock that I own by a landslide, with Apple coming in second place. Of course, Microsoft did have awesome quarterly earnings this week, and woo-wee, what a profit it has had. $723.90 profit on Microsoft since I first bought it, and it is one of the best stocks that I own, with a huge profit this week and a huge surge this week off when the quarterly earnings happened. And what a week for Microsoft overall. Of course, this last quarter they did have a lot of have a lot of things with OpenAI's ChatGPT, with artificial intelligence, and making that all combined, it has caused a huge surge for Microsoft's overall. And what a week Microsoft has had, and what a quarter Microsoft has had overall. Here's the chart for Microsoft. As we can see, it starts the week at a little more than $280, and it will take a sideways note. And right before April 26th, this is where all the magic happens, with the quarterly earnings coming in from Microsoft. Everyone's happy, and right from then, it shoots a spike way up high, a huge surge, all the way up to around near $300, around $297, around there. And from then it's going to gradually start going up, and then it will end the week at over $300, at $307.26 to be precise, and with a huge profit with the quarterly earnings. And what quarterly earnings Microsoft has performed this week. What a week and quarter for Microsoft. As we can see, it starts the week at a little more than $280 and will end the week at $307.26, a huge profit for Microsoft and an overall awesome week and quarter for Microsoft. Let's zoom in, before we go away from Microsoft, let's zoom into the time when Microsoft reported its quarterly earnings. Here's the zoomed in version. Of course, we see the 3 o'clock, 3:15 p.m., 3:30 p.m., 3:45 p.m. And look at this. It has been below $280, around $275 at this point. At this point right here, $275, and at 3:45 in between till 4 o'clock. At 3:45, the quarterly earning reports come in, and investors just start piling their money to Microsoft, and it shoots straight up with a huge profit for Microsoft. And then next morning, when it's April 26th at 9:45 a.m., it is going to continue that sideways note. But in the span of 24 hours, Microsoft had gone up from $275 to over $295, and will continue going up from there to way over $300. With the span of 24 hours, what a 24 hours for Microsoft, with what was a wonderful earning reports for the tech company. The next stock that I'm going to talk about is Apple. This is my second best stock that I own, and I own 20 shares of Apple, and I paid for it a price of $147.80, and its last price was $169.68. I have a profit of $437.60 on Apple, making it the second best stock that I own. And what a stock Apple has been since I first bought it. There was no time since I first bought it that it went down, and it always has gone straight up with a huge profit. Overall, it's never had a loss for me since I first bought it, and it's a really steady and really good profitable stock that I have in Apple. Here's the weekly chart for Apple. As we can see, it starts the week around $165, in between $164 and $166, and from then it's going to take a sideways note. And on April 27th, it is going to spike straight up on a huge surge, and will end the week at $169.68. So a really profitable week for Apple. Of course, it started the week at around $165 and ended the week at $169.68. So as you can see, an overall good week for Apple overall, with a really good profit from the beginning week to the end of the week for the major tech company. The next stock that I'm going to talk about is NVIDIA. I own 20 shares of NVIDIA, and I paid for it a price of $272.36, and its last price was $277.49, with a profit of $102.60. NVIDIA has had a huge profit this week. Last week, it always has gone down. Since I first bought NVIDIA, like 2 weeks ago, it has always gone down, until this week it had a huge spike and a huge profit for NVIDIA, and it went up straight up to now have a profit of $102.60 since I first bought NVIDIA. Here's the chart for NVIDIA. As we can see, it starts the week in between $270 and $275. And from then is going to start going downward, and we'll have that downward momentum. And as it goes downward until April 26th, it is going to then start going upward, and we'll continue that going upward trend and until April 27th. When on April 27th, it will not go down. It will continue that huge profit, gradually going up and up until we end the week at over $275. So a really good week for NVIDIA. Not that much profit, around like a $5 profit maybe from the beginning of the week. to the end of the week for Nvidia, and however, it has had a profitable week, which is all we look for in stocks in the New York Stock Exchange with profitable weeks. And Nvidia has shown an upward trend toward the end of the week, and we hope it continues this upward trend into next week. The next stock that I'm going to talk about is Alphabet. And Alphabet, I own 20 shares of Alphabet, and I paid for it a price of $101.34, and its last price was $107.34. I have a profit of $120 in Alphabet, and it has gone up since the beginning of the week. And Alphabet, of course, did this Tuesday did report its quarterly earnings, and it had good quarterly earnings, so it shot up for Alphabet, eventually coming downward, as we're going to talk about in the charts. However, a good earning report for Alphabet and its CEO Sundar Pichai, and Sundar Pichai must be happy for Alphabet's good quarterly earnings. However, it does spike down. Alphabet did have good quarterly earnings, and we're going to talk about that in the charts. Here's the chart for Alphabet. As we can see, it starts the week at a little around $106. It is then going to take a downward trend, it was April 25th was to Tuesday when it reported. It does go down as first, however, it spikes up again. It spikes up again from around $104 to $106. So this is where I'm talking about. It goes down, up, and then down, back down again. So this is what I meant earlier in the video when I talked about how Alphabet did go up and then down. Of course, we see the spike up and then the plummet down for Alphabet. And on April 27th, it is going to go up again on a kind of like a mountainy point. It is going to go straight up, and then we'll have a high at over $108. It is going to then go down, and then on a gradually it will go upwards to end the week in between at around $107, in between $106 and $108. So as we can see from all the arrows, Alphabet has had a lot of fluctuating prices this week. It goes down, up, down, up, down, up, and then the upward trend to end the week. Of course, Alphabet's the dramaticness with the quarterly earnings did play a role in the fluctuating prices for Alphabet. However, a profitable week overall for the tech company. Your story of the week part 2 is in green this week. Here on your screen, we have two dashboards. We have this dashboard right here, which was the dashboard of the stocks that I owned last week. This dashboard down here is the dashboard of the stocks that I owned this week. And there are dramatic changes from last week to this week. Overall, a profitable change overall. We will start with Marriott. Last week, Marriott had a profit of $142 since I first bought it. This week, it only had a profit of 18 cents since I first bought it. So we see that Marriott did go down from last week towards this week, which it will be, I think, the only stock that does that overall, so it has gone down. The next stock that we're going to talk about is Disney. Disney had a loss of $853.63. This week, however, it only had a loss of $472.73. So already a profit in Disney overall since I first bought it. Of course, this is comparing to when I first bought Disney, an $853 loss last week and a $472 loss this week. So this week was not as bad as last week for Disney. And then next we have Microsoft. Microsoft, last week, I had a profit of only $78.90. This week, however, I had a profit of around a little less than 10 times that. And I had a profit of $723.90. So around $50 less than 10 times last week's is this week's, and with a huge profit and a huge change in stock value. Last week for Apple, profit of only $344.40. This week, profit of $437.60 for Apple, making it better than last week. Last week, a $23 deficit and loss $1.40 loss for Nvidia. This week, over $100 at $102.60 for Nvidia, with a huge profit overall since I first bought Nvidia. Compared to last week, Nvidia did outperform last week with a huge profit this week. Alphabet last week, profit of $73.95. Alphabet this week, profit of $120, making it way better than last week. So overall, for all my stock except for Marriott, it has shown, compared from last week to this week, it has shown huge profits overall on my dashboard, making this week way more profitable. And so what a week this week has been for all these stocks since I first bought them, with a huge profit this week. So this shows really profitable remarks from this week. Of course, we are in earnings season, so just be on watch out for more quarterly earning reports for stocks that you own. Major and dramatic changes could happen with quarterly earning reports, so just be careful and aware of your stock trading. Thank you for watching this recap of the stock market week of April 24th through April 28th, 2023. I hope you enjoyed this recap. I will continue posting stock market recaps weekly. Thanks.